This is the story about the old Boriana Mine. This old mine is located not too far south of Kingman, Arizona. For anyone who knows anything about mining, it's the fact that mining is a boom and bust business. Mines start up when it's good and then go bust when it's bad. Then another company will take the mine over until the bottom falls out, and they go bust. For a lot of mines, it's just one big wash, rinse and repeat. And as you will see in this video, this outfit was pretty much one of those kind of mines. In fact, we skimmed over a lot of the detailed ownership on this mine just to avoid boredom and confusion. Whenever we think about old mines in Arizona, we tend to think about either gold or copper. This mine, however, was a tungsten mine, and because of that, the mine never got very much recognition like many other notable mines. However, it should be noted that during its time, this tungsten mine was the leading producer in Arizona and was probably the second largest producer of tungsten in all of the United States. Veteran prospectors knew about this prospect way back in the early 1900s, but because it wasn't gold, there wasn't a whole lot of interest. Then around 1914, a miner by the name of Harvey Klatch and his son acquired the mine and began operations as the Yucca tungsten mine. This father and son team got in just at the right time, because this was just prior to the start of the First World War. Within a year, the price on tungsten rose to $125 per ton in support of the World War, and production was ramped up, and in 1918 the mine was Arizona's leading tungsten producer. However, after the end of the war, tungsten prices fell and the mine shut down in 1919. In 1923, the company sold off some of the equipment and abandoned the site. The mine sat idle until 1929 when the property was taken over by the Boriana Mining Company. This company worked and explored some of the surrounding claims, and in 1932, the mine started back up again. This time the mine went into production with a powerhouse, a blacksmith shop, new boarding houses, and a manager's residence. The mill was fully operational and modern and could crush out 150 tons every 24 hours. A minimum of 5 men could produce 50 tons per 8-hour shift. Miners started using the cut and fill method to mine the ore. By 1935, the mine was starting to become an actual community with houses being built and families moving in, and soon there were around 350 people living there. They even had a small schoolhouse. Then in 1937, a fire destroyed the mill, and for the next couple of years a new mill was being built, and that mill began production in 1939. Over the next decade, mining continued, and soon there were around 150 workers at the mine. At this point, the mine consisted of 7 levels, and was advancing at the rate of 150 feet of new stope per month. The mine needed to blast out 200 tons a day in order to yield 60 tons of mill feed, and the company was shipping a carload of high-grade concentrate a month to the smelter. Then in 1942, things took a turn for the worse. The mine was running into bad ground and stopes needed more timbering, but the ore grade was falling also. Instead of producing 150 tons a day, they were down to just 40 tons. In fact, by the end of that year, the mill had an output of only 6,000 tons compared to 16,000 tons the year before. To make matters worse, some of the most skilled men that worked at the mine left to other higher-paying jobs, and in January 1943, the mine shut down, and by 1945, most of the mine had been stripped apart and equipment sold off. Then within a year, in 1946, the mine was acquired by the Omega Metal Company. With only 5 men on site, this small company set up a small gravity mill and started running ore from the waste dumps to get a cash flow, and by 1951 had shipped out 108 tons of high-grade tungsten from the waste dumps alone. However, in order to keep mining, they would need to go in and develop new tunneling to get to the ores, and by the summer of 1953 they had reopened 2,000 feet and were sending ore to the mill. By 1955, this small mine was once again one of Arizona's leading tungsten producers. However, by 1957, with the mine running low on ore, the metal prices collapsed and the mine was once again shut down. Then in 1962, the company leased the mine to another company, but once mining started, they ran into problems with bad drifts and collapsed tunnels, and gave up. For the next couple decades, the mine continued to draw in potential investors and speculators, but no one really stepped up to the plate with money. Even Union Carbide sent drill specialists to the mine site to do an investigation. However, they too decided against taking the mine over. In 1975, two men took over the lease of the mine and had high hopes also of reopening the mine, but nothing happened. Then in 1987, a mine site investigation was done and concluded the mine was uneconomical to operate, and most workings and tunnels were flooded and contaminated with hydrogen sulfide gas. This ended the mining history of Boriana, which was at one time the leading tungsten-producing mine in Arizona and second largest in the USA. Over all the years of operation, the Boriana mine produced 2,400,000 pounds of high-grade tungsten. You can still go to this old mine site today. Once there, you can see the remains of the old mill and other buildings. You will see lots of old concrete foundations, and of course lots of tailing dumps. I hope you enjoyed this short story about the old Boriana mine. Please like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to bring you more old lost mine stories.